All right, we got some game time decisions to run through today. Cleveland looks good. Garland and Struess both still out. Projected minutes here. DeAndre Hunter back, playing in those mid to upper 20s. Everyone else following in line here. Detroit, Sasser, and Levert both doubtful. I don't expect either to play. Getting up to about 20 for a guy like Ron Holland is kind of interesting to me. Can have bigger games from time to time. Jalen Suggs continues to play. Guess he's fine. But he has only played 16 and 19 minutes in his first two games before sitting out the second of the back-to-back. This is a little troubling for a 24-year-old to already be doing load management on the third game of the season, but he is coming off a knee injury. We'll have to see how this plays out. I don't think you can play Suggs right now, unfortunately. Does, however, mean more minutes for a guy like Anthony Black, who I'm still holding out hope for. Tyus Jones just seems completely lost right now. A couple years ago, he was a chic sleeper pick, and all of a sudden he's kind of on the verge of being out of the league on his third team in 3 years. Philly has some guys out, so Embiid's going to sit. George still out. Barlow now out. And Watford continues to miss. McCain's out for a while yet, so let's look at the projected minutes here. You've got Maxey and Edgecombe getting huge minutes. Oubre playing 35. Quentin Grimes entering the starting lineup most likely, 32 minutes. And everybody's favorite guy, Adam Bona, 25. Jabari Walker off the bench, 26 minutes. I don't know if I believe that. He didn't do anything last game. Drummond getting those backup center minutes. He should split with Bona here at the 5. And Justin Edwards, they just gave him a contract. 16 seems a little light, maybe. I'm thinking Edwards and Walker, maybe both closer to about 20. Tatum obviously out in Boston, but nobody else in the injury report today, so pretty much full strength. Hugo Gonzalez is a little interesting, so he's a 0L10 heading into this week. Projected to be in the starting lineup. He's not playing huge minutes, but he did play about 20 the last couple games. And this was a late first-round pick from Spain. Really not much offensive action here, not much usage, but he is on the floor. They were saying they liked his defensive hustle. 18 points and then 10. I mean, not a lot on the bone here, but if he somehow can knock down a couple shots, get a couple steals, be worth taking a look at least. He's one of the few guys who still has that 0L10 going. And as far as the bigs go here, Keita continues to start, but he's really only getting the low 20s to mid 20s minutes. Chris Boucher, of course, not playing as much as I'd like. Luka Garza is back from his concussion, so we'll have to see how this 4 and 5 spot rotation shakes out for the Celtics as they get further into the season. For New Orleans, Missy is questionable again. He was a full participant in practice yesterday, though, so I expect him to play tonight. We'll see if he can go or not. Matkovic remains questionable as well. Missy and Derek Queen will split the minutes at the 5. They did sign DeAndre Jordan, but I wouldn't expect to see him unless Missy is out again. Queen played big minutes last game when Missy was not in the lineup, so watch for that again. Atlanta has Risache, Jalen Johnson, and Porzingis all questionable. They all took part in shoot-around this morning. That's good news. They may actually be at full strength today against Chicago. And if they all play, this is how they're thinking the minutes are going to shake out. Risache at about 21, Porzingis high 20s, Jalen Johnson around 30. So it means a little less run for like a Muhammad Gay and Okongwu. Luke Kennard has been terrible so far, so we'll see if he continues to play or if they go with Veet or Keaton Wallace, somebody else at the second guard spot. Josh Giddey's questionable with a finger injury for Chicago. We thought Luka's finger injury was maybe minor and he wouldn't miss a game, and now he's out at least a week, so I don't know the severity of Giddey's finger injury. He's been fine, but not spectacular to start the season, averaging about 35, so rare points over his first 2 games. Of course, he's got the high L10 right now, so you may want to wait till that comes down a bit to play him anyway. Drake Powell, Zaire Williams, and Wolf all questionable for the Nets. And it's going to be a bad team. We saw the Cam Thomas game yesterday, 40 points and 2 assists and nothing else. That seems about right. Michael Porter Jr. and Thomas getting in the mid-30s for minutes. Everybody else kind of splitting time. Saraf continues to start, but Demeen continues to get more minutes as his minutes restriction gets loosened. I think he's the better of the 2 players. Not a lot to just love on this team. And now that the rookies all have L10s, they're not nearly as good at plays, obviously. Houston still without Dorian Finney-Smith, Fred VanVleet, course, out for the season. Ben Adams' minutes more normal now, 25. That's kind of where I'd expect him. Starters play a lot for Houston, and you are still seeing some Reed Shepherd, some Tari Eason. I thought maybe we'd see Holiday with Shepherd struggling defensively, and Shepherd continues to see some floor time. His minutes went down from 28 in the first game to 20 in the second, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. He is a defensive liability for them right now. Toronto should be full strength today. We did finally get news. Olynyk is actually out. So is Fox, Cornette, Sohan, and Waters. Honestly, I don't think the Spurs really need any of those guys. Doing well without them. Wemby's been spectacular, obviously. Vassell's playing a lot. Castle's playing a lot. Julian Champagny, Keldon Johnson, Dylan Harper. So they're about 7 deep. I don't think you really want to play Biyombo or Carter Bryant or Jordan McLaughlin. If the game's close at all, those guys probably don't see the floor. I think they're pretty much a 7-man rotation. Harper's looked great. I kind of want to see more of him. Chet Holmgren coming up questionable today. Back injury. Been able to play through it. Played really well last game. 31-11 with 3 steals and a block. 59 so rare points for Chet Holmgren. Hopefully he can go. It's a risk though. Unless we hear something ahead of time, I would be cautious putting him into any priority lineups at this point. Gafford and Brandon Williams both questionable. I wouldn't expect either of them to play. We may get good news on one or both of them before tip-off tonight. Dallas minutes. Flag looked much better last game. Threw down some vicious dunks. Looks like he belongs. Washington and Davis obviously playing a lot. Klay Thompson, 21 minutes. Seems a little low, but that's right about where he's been every game this year, so I would expect that to be pretty accurate. There'll be games he plays more when his shot's falling, but as he ages, it seems like his shot falls less and less. You've got Lively as your 5-man, so Davis can slide to the 4 where he's more comfortable, but not really a backup big man on this team, so when Lively is not on the floor and with Gafford out, Davis just plays the 5 when Lively's off the floor, so about half his game. Max Christie and Najee Marshall getting some nice run, and D'Angelo Russell finally had a good game last night. But he's so up and down, I don't think you can really trust him at all. The Suns have Dylan Brooks questionable, and that will open up some usage. He's been chucking up a lot of shots. Groin injury, don't like the sound of that. Questionable for the game in Utah. And if Brooks cannot go, that's 32 minutes to spread around to guys like Colin Gillespie and Nigel Hayes and Grayson Allen. Until we get Jalen Green back, that guard wing spot that Brooks takes up, I think you're going to see Hayes. You're going to see some more Gillespie if they go small. Royce O'Neal's already playing 30 or 29. So we'll see what they choose to do. I think it's just a bump up for a couple of guys if Brooks can't go. Collier and Yang, both out. They continue to miss time. Really been impressed with Walter Clayton so far. Ace Bailey hasn't had a good game yet. He's an 8. 20-minute estimate. He's going to be better. There's no way he's this bad. When it happens, I don't know, but it certainly could be this week. I know everybody's down on him right now, but, this is the time to give him another shot with that low L10. Markkanen's looked much better. Keontae George playing a lot. Kessler up and down as usual, and the Jazz still playing 10 deep, basically. Nobody on the injury report for Denver. I think you kind of know how that team rolls at this point. Minnesota, Dillingham is questionable, hasn't really been playing. And then you've got Edwards doubtful. I'm going to say he's out tonight. With Edwards out, this is probably the biggest injury of this slate, other than Luka. Randall gets a lot more usage. DiVincenzo, a ton of minutes. I think you could see a big DiVincenzo game this week if there's no Ant Edwards. Even like Jaden McDaniels does a little more offensively. Rudy probably expected to score a little more than normal. Naz Reid gets a bump. Bones Highland is actually playing. And Jalen Clark and Terrence Shannon would seem like the obvious replacement. But we've seen a lot of Bones to start the season, so I'm not sure if Chris Finch is liking what he's getting from Bones or not. But I would expect Shannon and Clark to be the biggest minute beneficiaries here of Edwards missing. Same guys out that were out last game for Memphis. The rookie Cedric Coward has looked great. 23 minutes estimated. He's been scoring at a clip of about 1.5 points a minute. That's insane, especially for a rookie. Expect him to keep earning more and more floor time if he can continue to knock down shots, and he seems like he's a really good shooter. That L10's up to 28, though, so not sure this is the week for it. Horford out, in addition to Melton and Tui. And with Horford out, expect Quentin Post to start. Quentin Post, that L10's under 10, so a possible decent play here if he can knock down a couple of shots. And at the backup big, you're looking at Trace Jackson-Davis. We saw him as an athletic rim runner last year. 12 minutes, probably not enough to get him going, but he could end up being a good play, and I think that L10 is pretty low for him, if I'm remembering correctly. It's an 8. Portland, Robert Williams is doubtful. I would not count on him playing. Portland's minutes are pretty steady for the starters. Everybody in the low 30s, except Klingon, who's high 20s. And the young big man, Young Hansen, 10 minutes. Didn't play in the opener, then 7, then 4. I think you have to ignore him at this point. If something would happen to Klingon, see him on the floor more. Jeremy Grant's off to a pretty good start. Chris Murray, probably not really worth a look, but Chris Murray's got an L10 of 13, and at 19-plus minutes, I would say maybe you can give him a shot. Probably not in a priority, though. And then the last one is the Lakers, and so we have Jackson Hayes questionable, Gabe Vincent now doubtful. The Lakers really down on guards. Luka obviously out for a week now. I think the guys to watch here are DeAndre Ayton, believe it or not. So Ayton finally had a good game. No Luka last night. Bunch of guys left with injuries. Some came back, some didn't. Austin Reeves was obviously spectacular last night. Can he get that going over and over again here for the next week? Probably not every game, but you got a couple games to work with. One of them could be excellent. You just saw an 86. I don't think I had that on my bingo card last week. Marcus Smart, if he can get up to 32 minutes, I think he becomes a good play. That L10's 18 for Smart. Jake LaRavia, 32 minutes. I mean, this team is pretty short. Other guy that's kind of interesting is Dalton Knecht. Now, he hasn't played much. He didn't do much yesterday. But this is a guy that put up some big games last season as a rookie. They're going to need scoring, and he can provide it. So that would be one to think about. Just a 9 L10 for Knecht, and he did have a couple games last year over 40. All right, so there's a little rundown for you. Thanks for watching. Good luck this week.